how much I believe a lot of people's mental suffering comes from some like subconscious underlying belief, or like our society's belief that we have to solve and know everything and optimize for every little thing. And
Yeah.
I've been sharing a lot with people lately that on the board of my small nonprofit is a Indigenous elder named Thunder Eater, and he actually has a role in my retreats, and he's from the local area here. He's very psychedelic friendly also, which is awesome and very unique. He when he talks about spirituality, sometimes he'll use the term the grandmother spirit, which is a very, instead of God, and that's like a very applicable to his tribe. But a term he also uses a lot, which I really love sharing with people, is he calls the spirituality or the universe, like he calls it the great mystery. And what I love about it is framing it as the great mystery inherently makes it something that we don't have to understand or
Mm.
solve for. And I think that if you can be present with that and really accept that, there's a peace that comes from just trusting that it's all okay. It's going to happen. It's not in our control. Like things will happen to us. We'll survive. We'll bounce back. And yeah, there's something for me like really beautiful in that letting go of expectations and attachment. So it doesn't mean you don't work hard. It doesn't mean you don't go to school and learn and grow, but can you do it in a way where you're not so attached to a particular outcome that you're causing yourself anguish and suffering? And it sounds like you have a lot of that, and you're not like, with what you share and how inspired you are with your company and all the ways you look at it. And but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are just, how much money can I make? How fast? And I don't care who I step on in the process. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't that what you just said? Did you say his name was Thunder Eater?
yeah, that's his
What a
shaman
legendary
name.
name. Wow.
Yeah,
When
he's a
you
legend.
just shared that, I'm applying the law of common sense. By no means am trying to be a psychologist at the moment, but common sense suggests to me that when you what you just shared, anxiety seems to dissolve, don't you think? Like
Yeah.
I'm going to do the work, like you said, and educate myself and strive to be a little better each day, and whether that means with personal connections or my physical health or my mental health. I'm always going to be,
Hmm.
pushing myself a little bit to the appropriate manner each day. But I just have to believe that if I'm doing the right things in the right way for the right people and the right outcomes, that magic might indeed happen. When I have that, and it's courageous, to be honest, to be able to do that, but I like to try to.
Hmm.
Anxiety
Yeah.
sort of fades away a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, a lot of spiritual practices, meditation, like kind of ancient Eastern philosophy, like it's all about being in the present moment.
hmm,
And when you're really in the present moment, you're not, like, anxiety is fear about the future, and depression is like a stress about the past, and PTSD is a stress about a particular event that happened that you can't resolve. So like when you're really able to just be present, yeah, a lot of those things start to dissipate and become less severe. And it's one reason why the science is theorizing why psychedelics are so helpful to many different things, is because it does help bring you closer to that presence. And I use the language of the piece of divine synchronicity, but you could call it, mindfulness. You could call it,
hmm,
yeah, just being in the present moment. Like there's a lot of ways that you can contextualize that. But yeah, I agree. Like that's one of the, and how much better would the world be if we were all just a little less anxious? Like,
yeah,
not saying like no
absolutely.
anxiety, but yeah.
And you know what? The,
So
the last little parallel I'll go on, mate, and then we'll go back to
yeah,
our
no worries.
four questions. It's going to take 3 days, this conversation. When you stop for a moment, and I mentioned the joy I get out of a podcast. When you stop for a moment and have conversations like you and I at the moment, where
Yeah,
it's just me and you, hey, like there's no other thoughts. That little
right.
rectangle we call a phone. I don't even care where it is at the moment because I'm just so absorbed in what you're sharing and your experiences. Yeah, I think if
Yeah.
people could, everyone should have a podcast. There you go. There's my therapeutic advice, everyone. No, it's a lot of work, but don't worry. Just to have these conversations, it's
Yeah.
actually really special because in the world, often we're busy and we're thinking ahead, or like you just mentioned with depression, we're worrying about something that happened, and we
Hmm.
we miss these opportunities for what feels like to me genuine human connection.
Yeah. especially with technology. Our attention spans are getting smaller and smaller, and we're looking
Yeah.
for information in 15-second video clips. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, now I know.
Yeah, I
I'll move on to the next thing. Like, how can you know?
yeah.
Because this guy or this girl on Instagram gave you the 30-second rundown. Come on.